What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Crush City Territory. I'm Chandler Rome, joined by Tyler Stafford after, well, whatever that was, across 3 hours and 42 minutes at Daikin Park on Wednesday night. What began, or what was billed as a matchup of aces. Paul Skeens, an established ace, Spencer Arrighetti, kind of a budding ace, the reigning American League Pitcher of the Month. Of course, it ended with two teams that scored 20 runs. Traded body blows back and forth. Neither Skeens nor Arrighetti finished the fifth inning, and the Astros pulled off what was the most improbable win of their imperfect season. They trailed 8-3 at one point, entering the seventh inning. They trailed 9-5, entering the eighth inning, and in the eighth inning, they had two outs and no one on base for Nick Allen coming to the plate. And that catalyzed an incredible two-out rally in the eighth inning. Tyler, be honest, did you watch the entire game? Did you stay tuned in even as things looked dire?
So I missed the seventh inning because I was watching the last 5 minutes of the NBA Finals. And then once that was out, I was like, oh, I guess I'll just put this back on. And it was right as the rally was kicking up. And so was watching that and then went back and listened to it after to hear friend of the pod Josh Reddick on there, who's doing a great job in the radio booth. I've really been enjoying. My favorite was last night. I think it was in the seventh inning or something. He's just bringing up an anecdote. I mean, they're losing by whatever at this point. It's a boring game. And he says to Robert, the few times that I've listened to the radio broadcast this year, Sparky will bring, and Robert's like, hey, thanks for admitting that you don't listen to the radio broadcast. It was really funny.
Josh is doing a good job.
He is.
He'll be back on tonight for the series finale Thursday night. If you haven't tuned in, at least try to tune in for an inning or two and listen to Josh, because I think he's doing a very good job as a color guy alongside Robert Ford, bringing insight and you guys, if you're loyal listeners to this pod, first of all, thank you. Second of all, you know that Josh brings insights in only ways he knows how, and he has translated that to radio, and it's gone really well. So go listen to him tonight if you can for at least an inning or two. But going back to Wednesday, the Baseball Savant does they do a win probability graph for each game on the game feed, and if you're watching on YouTube, we will put it up. Things when Bryce Matthews struck out, if you're watching on YouTube, that's the highest point on the Pirates side. When Bryce Matthews struck out and made it two outs in the eighth inning, the Pirates had a 98% win probability, according to Baseball Savant. And then really just it was I kept trying to look for that one crucial thing or that one thing that turned it, but it was just a lot of really good at bats. And Nick Allen doubles, Christian Vasquez doubles, and then you get to the top of the order. And that had to be kind of, the Astros preach past the baton a lot, and it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. It's very cliche and very just kind of rote. You hear it a lot, and you don't put much stock in it, but that's what the eighth inning was. It was just get the top of the order up, and then it was get Yordan to the plate. And then once Yordan got on base, it was all right, we got action. We got the tying runs on deck. You can kind of start to believe. And it was interesting talking to Josh Hader after the game, and we'll get to Josh Hader in a bit. But, bullpen guys, especially closers, especially guys like Hader, who know when they're going to come into a game. He knows that he's only coming in a save situation, and he knows he's only throwing, one inning. So bullpen guys have this routine of they'll watch the game and they'll start to identify pockets of hitters they can come in, and they'll start to know when they can kind of get their bodies loose, when to start picking up a baseball, when to start doing kind of their plyo work, things like that. And so I asked him last night, I was like, you guys were trailing 9-5 going into the eighth inning. There were two outs, nobody on in the eighth inning. You can't think you're coming into that game at what point do you start moving around? At what point do you think I can come into that game? He goes, oh, when Yordan comes up,
yep.
you just kind of presume he's going to hit a home run. So that's when he started picking up a baseball and getting hot.
Yeah, I mean that's when I really locked in too. Of like, oh shoot, Jordan's coming up as the tying run. They're bringing in a fresh reliever, which is always fun for Jordan. He's made some magic happen there before, and but yeah, I mean those are the best baseball rallies too. The ones where it's just like 7 at bats in a row, that, and it's all different ways. I mean, Nick Allen's ball was a home run in 5 ballparks. Hot take: that ball goes out, rally's over. If he's not standing on
Yeah.
second, it's just still a 3-run lead with 2 outs, nobody on. You needed him to have the double there. That was poor gamesmanship on the Pirates' part to not let him hit a home run there. Um, but yeah, I mean, as soon as Jordan comes up, you're just thinking. At first, why would you pitch to Jordan? I don't. I mean, I know that there's other people in the lineup, but there's only one guy in this lineup that I'm not letting beat me, and it's Jordan Alvarez. I mean, I know they didn't. You can't like intentionally walk him there, but I would not throw him a strike. I would take my chances with Christian Walker, who his single had a 160 expected batting average, just a little nubber to the right side over there, and happened to make it in. And then, did you get to ask Cam Smith at all about his kind of thought process and that last? It looked like he was shooting for the first baseline because he fouled one off over there. I mean, it looked like he was aiming for that first base bag.
I'm not sure if he was aimed. So the one thing Cam did say that was hilarious. He said, so if you'll remember how that was situated, Zach Cole was at third, Isak Paredes was at first. And Cam said, he didn't say anything about the direction or where he was trying to go with that Soto pitch, but he said, I knew I just had to try to draw a throw because Paredes was running from first, and I know he has that trailer behind him. And so that was like Cam's funny. He's a funny guy, man. But I think the fact that they did this. Look, the Pirates bullpen is not good, and I'm not sitting here trying to throw water on the comeback. But the Pirates have had one of the worst bullpens in baseball for at least the last month and a half. But the 2 guys they did it off of in the 8th and 9th inning, Mason Montgomery, who was part of that Mike Burrows trade. He was part of the 3-team trade. The Pirates got him from the Rays in that trade. He'd been really good. He's kind of their one big lefty in the back of their bullpen, had been throwing the ball really well for them. And then Gregory Soto is a very accomplished major league reliever. Like, I mean, and you saw the stuff. Like, he's got 99 to 100. They did it off of the 2 best relief. This was not like the Pirates, threw their scrubs in, or the guy that pouted and they put on the restricted list and now having the bullpen again. Like, they didn't put like their nobodies in there. They did this against their leverage arms. And again, I think the thing that's most incredible is just A, that it started with Nick Allen and Christian Vasquez, and B, that this whole rally and that the Astros scored 11 runs, they didn't hit a home run. They did not hit a home run in that game. They did not hit a home run during the comeback. It was just a lot of really good at bats, a lot of fouling off some tough pitches. Why didn't they walk Alvarez? Because Alvarez represented the tying run. You would have been putting the tying run on base and bringing the go-ahead run to the plate.
I'm not saying do it on purpose. I'm just
Right.
saying I'd throw 4 sliders under the zone and take your chances.
Well, if you look at the pitch chart in that at bat, like everything was down. Like you could tell they weren't trying to give him anything to hit. They were trying to keep everything down, but he just left one sinker too much at the knees, and Jordan just kept his hands inside and got it. And that's kind of that's the problem with him, man. Like you can be trying to intentionally walk him. The Rangers were trying to do that in Arlington last week, and 3-0, whoever the reliever was, just threw something that was in the zone. And if you do that, he can punish you. And that's kind of the height of his prowess. But just an incredible comeback for them. Were you nervous that Joe pulled Alvarez for a pinch runner in the 9th inning? They still did not have the lead by this point. But were you nervous that spot would come back up?
I mean, that's the run that you need. So that makes sense. I mean, we can talk about the other move that he made in that inning. I understand pinch hitting Taylor Trammell, but we're kind of rehashing the Bryce Matthews Taylor Trammell debate from a couple episodes ago. But no, I mean, first off, frankly, I don't want Jordan running full speed anywhere ever. So if he knows he's the tying run, I'm okay with getting somebody else in there.
Yeah, and I mean the other thing too was like he knew when he ran for him that his spot was 8 away in the batting order.
Yeah.
And like it would have taken what happened, which was like the most improbable thing that we have seen this season. It would have taken what happened for that lineup spot to come back, and it also would have taken Josh Hader coming in and blowing the game. But Josh Hader did not come in and blow the game. By the way, Josh Hader's
Woo.
back.
He looked good.
Josh Hader is back. You know, it's I don't want to say that like a closer would have fixed this team through the first
A
2 months
closer would
of
have
the
fixed this
season.
team. I'll say it.
But there's a certain level of comfort and a certain level of security that you have when you have that guy waiting for the ninth inning. And they missed that incredibly because you could just tell by the way by the way Joe Espada managed games, by the way kind of you viewed it through an offensive spectrum of like, man, if they don't add on, like this could be a problem later in the game if they can only get 3 or 4 runs. Like, you didn't have a ton of trust in guys, even though they've had some guys develop into leverage guys and develop and settle into roles in the back end of that bullpen. You didn't have the trust in them that you have in Josh Hader. And I think for his first game back coming in, I think everything looked as well as you could hope for a guy that had not pitched in a major league game in 10 months.
Yeah, he looked great. It was very nice to have him back for sure. And I mean, yeah, we've talked about it. Like having a guy like that sets the rest of your bullpen, and you just if you're bringing him in with the lead, 9 times out of 10 you're leaving with a win, and it is very nice to have him back. He didn't throw a single slider in the zone, which is fun. I mean, they were all like nasty, outside corner sliders, but I mean, he looked great. Every hit is a miracle. I don't understand how. I mean, watching Paul Skeens and even Eric Getty too. Like it's crazy to me how anyone hits any of these pitches. But man, is it nice to have Josh Hader back.
Yeah, and it was interesting to hear everyone talk after the game, just kind of in the aftermath of that comeback. Everyone the question was kind of what's going through everyone's head, like as the seventh inning, as Isaac Paredes homers in the seventh inning to cut it to 3, and then you start getting a couple guys on in the eighth, kind of what's going. And Joe Espada said like we wanted to get Hader in that game, like the boys wanted to see Hader pitch. Cam Smith, I think he told Julia, and he told us after. He said, when I saw those orange lights come on, I kind of thought we're back, like. We're all back. Like we're starting to feel complete. The orange lights are here, and Lil Wayne's playing, and Josh Hader runs out. So obviously they're not complete yet. Hunter Brown will pitch tonight, Thursday, in El Paso, his 3rd minor league rehab assignment or start, I should say. I would think he needs one more. I don't. That's informed speculation that he'd probably make one more and then come back. That'd be the Garrett Cole trajectory. Not that they're mirroring it just against Garrett Cole's rehab, and Garrett Cole obviously had Tommy John. It's a different operation, but the point remains, like they both needed a spring training style buildup. They needed to redo spring training again. Hunter did, and Garrett Cole had to go through spring training himself. The Yankees brought Garrett Cole back after 4 rehab starts. Maybe the Astros do it, but the way Hunter has pitched on his rehab assignments, the way the velocity has looked, the way the results have looked, like he may not need more than one more before he's back in the rotation. Then when he's back, I think you can really start to say this thing is complete on the pitching side. Jose Altuve as well is going to take live BP again today at Daikin Park. You heard it here like a week or so ago when I told you he doesn't like rehab assignments very much and that they may just bring some minor league guys down to Daikin Park to throw live BP to him. Well, they did that yesterday. They brought some guy that they signed from Indie Ball named Adam Shoemake, who I felt kind of bad for this fella. They just signed him from Indie Ball. He's had some time in affiliated ball before, but he was in Indie Ball. They just signed him. And they bring him to Daikin Park to face Jose Altuve in live batting practice. And then when I kid you not, like the entire team and most of the front office is out there watching this. Like this kid's
Praying
first.
for him to get rocked too. Like no one's cheering for him. You're just hoping to see Altuve hit dingers.
Then his third pitch is like a little bit inside. Now backs Altuve off the
Oh
plate,
no.
and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh my god, this poor kid. Like I was like, I could not imagine being in his shoes. Just like
No.
you're brand new here. Like Josh Miller probably learned your name like 20 minutes ago as like he's coaching you as like he's watching you throw your bullpen before you go throw this live BP. And now you got to face like a first ballot Hall of Famer and like
Mm-hmm.
who has like the hopes of the Astros season like on his bat. Like that's a tough spot, but everyone got through it unscathed. Jose Altuve talked afterwards, said he'll take live BP again today. I think there's a strong possibility you see him activated this weekend in the A's series, provided the live BP goes well today and provided he comes out of it feeling good and feeling like his timing is there. So you get Hunter Brown back, you get Altuve back, you've got Hader back now. It's starting to look like, this is the team that they have not had really all season because Josh Hader hasn't pitched all season. This is not the complement of players they've had all season, and they're about 2 weeks away from being at as full strength as they can be.
Yeah, watch out. They're 3 games back of the wild card, and then the schedule coming up is home with the A's, at the Angels, who, God bless them, haven't tried in 20 years. Then the Royals, and then the scuffling Tigers after a good start have not looked good. And then the Guardians right after that. Like you've got 2 or 3 weeks here of, it's not like you're going in nervous. Those are teams you should be able to do pretty well against, and they're gonna have to start doing that. They're gonna have to, win each of these series to make up ground, especially the ones within the division. The A's series is going to be huge, just with the way that the standings are. But yeah, I mean, you've got the team looking like what you want it to look like.
Why are you allowed to talk about teams that are bad that they're playing coming up and I'm not?
Because I do it with a pure heart, Chandler.
Okay.
So anything I do is fine.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, they don't have like the Royals are bad, the Angels are bad. It's a softer landing spot coming up, but as we've seen this team.
Yeah, there's no Rockies on that. I'd be nervous if it were the Rockies, but if it's these teams, it's the mid teams that they can handle. It's the outright terrible teams that the Astros struggle with. So you need them to have a little bit of oomph in there.
A little bit of what? Umph?
Oomph.
Is that what you said? Umph?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know that we'd classify the Royals as having oomph, but everybody else, they got a little bit.
They have Bobby Witt. That's
He's
enough,
pretty good.
That's enough umph for most people.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about Cam Smith?
Please.
Cam got the big hit last night, the triple off Gregory Soto. He has really turned it on as of late. His last 15 games, he has an 870 OPS slugging, 490 in that span. He's raised his season OPS from 604 to 670 across the past 15 games. For an outfield that has looked at best impotent for the duration of this season, it is their most unsettled position. Dana Brown tried to fortify it this offseason and still needs to if they are buying at the deadline. But Cam Smith is entrenched in right field. He's going to play right field for however long this season goes on. They need him to keep coming along the way he is coming along. And the last 15 games, we've gone from the hitting coach a couple of weeks ago wondering out loud if Cam thought he was going to get sent down, and that was, in his head, to now he's creeping his way up, hitting 5th, 4th, 6th in the lineup, and certainly showing signs that what was happening before was just a funk, that he just needed to get a couple good swings and get out of it. And he is really, really coming on strong for a team that needs it.
Yeah, both of those hits last night were on 98-mile-an-hour fastballs. I mean, and then of course, every other week or so he hits one 470 feet, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot that he can do that too. Yeah, he's looked really good. The swings have looked a lot better. The decisions have looked a lot better. He looks more confident up there. And I mean, the Astros need that. Like you said, they have not had a ton of offense coming from the outfield. And so to see him be able to do that, and I mean, to to break the game open like that yesterday, like that could have been a very demoralizing loss if you tie it up and then aren't able to come back, or you lose that in the 11th or something. Yeah, I mean that was huge, but he looked really good in his ABs yesterday.
What if I told you that Cam Smith, even with an 88 OPS plus, and even with hitting 221 and barely getting on base above a 300 clip, what if I told you he's the Astros' third most valuable position player, according to both Fangraphs WAR and Baseball References WAR?
Yeah, that's a good and bad stat, I think. You'd like to see some other people step it up there. I mean, he just passed Correa, who, is out for the season, but, Correa was obviously having a very good season before that. But yeah, I mean, he's a great, great defender. He's very fast. Got another stolen base in this series, and he can provide value outside of just the bat. And then when the bat is clicking, like he's a 5-tool player. Like he's one of the guys. You see why he's a first round pick and a coveted prospect. Like he has everything that makes a really, really good baseball player.
So you'd say he's an aircraft carrier?
Mm-hmm. I would say exactly that. I would say he's an aircraft carrier.
Well, Dana Brown says that, and that is, look, he's, I think you put it best. You are seeing kind of in this stretch, you are seeing the flashes of why he was the centerpiece of the Kyle Tucker trade, why he is a guy that many in the industry and many, within the organization think like this is a future, like could be a face of the new era, face of the new core. Like this is a guy you build around. And I know it hasn't looked that way for most of the season, but you can just be tantalized by these stretches. And it's now getting these stretches of 15, 20 games where he does this. It's now harnessing it for a full 162. And he kind of, I don't want to say got a pass last year, but like last year was so unprecedented with just coming up after 32 games in the minor leagues, not really knowing how to be a professional really in any, like, I mean, this kid's 23 years old. Like he's still learning how to like be an adult, like be a professional in like every sense of the word, but add on top of that, all right, you have a 162 game season like that you have to prepare for and compartmentalize everything in your mind. Like last year, like taught him a lot. And I think this year, he's taking some of those lessons and trying to develop, kind of maybe a better day-by-day routine, not overwork himself. That was the thing last year that the coaches were trying to guard against with him was he likes to work. He likes to work his way out of things. This is not a guy that when he's going bad, he likes to just go try to work his way out of it instead of, studying and diagnosing what could be ailing him. He's a worker. So, I think you're seeing signs of that. You're seeing signs of development in that area with him. And like you said, every now and then he hits a homer that's very, very long. He's got the Astros' 2 longest home runs of the season already. And as long as we're talking about homers, we might as well keep pushing the Daily Dingers promotion from FanDuel. That's right. It's the Daily Dingers. FanDuel, part of the FanDuel network, always a sponsor of Crush City Territory and the Foul Territory Network. So like we've talked about, it's the MLB season's in full swing, and FanDuel is giving you a chance to call your shot with Daily Dingers. You can make your free pick on who's going to hit a home run in the game. And if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. So Tyler, the Astros will face Jared Jones. Very, very once highly touted prospect, was a part of that group of Pirates pitching prospects along with Paul Skeens that just really took over the industry a couple of years ago. He's been injured, but made his first big league start back last time. This will be his second start off the injured list, has 1 full season under his belt. And in that season, he did allow 18 home runs across about 140 innings. So it's big stuff with Jared Jones. It's a lot of power stuff, but if it's fast coming in, can be fast going out. And the Astros have some guys that are certainly capable of getting a hold of one if Jared Jones makes a mistake.
Yep. Isak Paredes is going to take a slider at the top of the zone and put it about 8 rows deep in the Crawford boxes right after fouling off 2 pitches into the third deck on the left side of the field. He's going to straighten one out on a slider up in the zone today. So watch out for that one.
I think I'm going to go Cam. I think Cam Smith is. I think he's in a role. He's on a roll, I should say. I think he's in a good headspace. I think he's like. I think the thing about Cam that I've been impressed with is like you mentioned earlier that the takes looked better. And I think that's a perfect way to put it because when you watch him and when you've watched him when he struggled, like he's almost jumping at bad pitches. Like you can see like he's stopping himself from swinging, like he's jumping in the batter's box. You can tell he's a little bit in between. Like you've seen none of that. You've seen a lot of, patient takes. You've seen a lot of confident takes. And that just tells me that he's recognizing pitches better and that he's recognizing what he's looking for better. So I think, Cam's going to capitalize on his heater and I think he would take Jared Jones deep tonight. But of course, when you have Yordan Alvarez on the roster, who leads the American League with 21 homers, who homered on the fastest pitch he has ever homered against in the regular season on Tuesday off of Bubba Chandler, maybe it's not a wise idea to pick him. So you can pick Yordan, you can pick Cam Smith, you can pick Isak Paredes. If you're ready to play, head over to fanduel.com/podcast to get started. That's fanduel.com/podcast to opt in for daily dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball.
No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tyler, before we get out of here, any other observations that have caught your eye from the first 2 games against the Pirates?
Just seeing them come back, and it was fitting too to have it on the Spencer Arrighetti night after his quote from a couple of weeks ago of, just never being out of it and in the locker room believing that they still had the ability to do that. You love seeing that resiliency because it would be very easy to give up, especially with 2 outs and nobody on, down 4 in the 8th inning. That's a perfectly reasonable spot to give up, and they did not. And that's just been the story of the Astros really the past couple of years of just trying to tread water until everybody's healthy. But I mean, like we said, having Hader back, Altuve coming back, maybe for Orbit's birthday on Friday, all of that. It's exciting. They're keeping close enough that they're within striking distance for when, the big guns come back.
That's all you have to be, right? You just have to give yourself a chance. And that was what we talked about when you were doom and gloom and saying the season was over about 3 weeks ago. All I said is it takes one good week. And they've stacked really, when you think about it, they've stacked really 2 good weeks together. Like the road trip was going 7-3 on that 10-game road trip was obviously much needed. I don't hold the Brewers series loss against them. I thought they played well in that series, all things considered. And I really thought, you look at that game you look at the first game against the Pirates, that's a game you probably need to win. Just given the way they played, they jumped out to a 2-0 lead after 2 pitches. The Brian Abreu thing continues to be an issue that maybe we'll talk about on another pod. But I do think it's noteworthy, though, that they picked up Spencer Arrighetti. And Joe Espada talked about it after the game last night. Like, Spencer Arrighetti picked that team up the entire month of May. Just he had a .93 ERA in May. Like, every time he went out there, he kept that team in the game, gave them a chance to win. He did what aces do. And he had a clunker against Skeens on Wednesday, but that the Astros came back and picked him up. It's a good sign. It's a good sign of complimentary baseball, and it's a good sign of just morale too. Like, just that could have been a deflator of a loss, especially you the at-bats they took against Skeens all night were wonderful. He threw a career-high 109 pitches and only did not even finish 5 innings. I threw 4 2/3 innings. Like, the at-bats were excellent, and they grinded their rear ends off against him. And it would have been a deflator for them to lose that game after the way they mounted rallies against Skeens, putting your ace on the mound. Like, you had to have a nice feeling going into it. But the fact they were able to pick Spencer Arrighetti up, real morale booster, and I think something that can maybe springboard them going forward into this soft portion of their schedule.
Yeah. I mean, like we said, they've got a couple of weeks here to really make up some ground, especially within the division. You're starting to count down the days of Hunter Brown being back, which can really help solidify that rotation, and also helps your bullpen. Like we said, knowing that you've got Josh Hader in the back end of the bullpen, knowing that every 5th or 6th day you've got Hunter Brown who's going to give you 6 good innings, that really does help the other games. You get to take a breath whenever those guys are coming in. And Santa has been quite the gift so far. I mean, he has been. I appreciated that. His streak was broken, but it's just because he wanted to bring a couple BBs to people who asked for it. That's a classic Santa move. So that's all right. He's been very good out of the pen.
Possibly moving his way into some higher leverage responsibilities. And it's not as if last night was low leverage by any means. I mean, they put him in and they wanted him to keep them in the game. And he did that. And look, I know their bullpen last night was it's not like the ideal way you map it out, but AJ Bluebaugh threw on back-to-back days for the first time as a major leaguer. And I mean, I know he allowed a run, but still the fact that he was able to, pitch on back-to-back days.
That's winning pitcher, AJ Bluebaugh to you, sir.
Like Nate Pearson, I mean, gave up some rockets, but I mean, he limited the damage. Alan Bersanta came in and got them a clean inning before, having to come out. Like, I thought it was, again, everyone just did enough. And the Pirates helped too. The Pirates threw the ball around the infield. And that helped too. But the Astros will take them any way they can get them, as we say often. They don't ask how. They just ask how many. And as of now, the Astros have 28 wins. They are 28-35 heading into tonight's series finale against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Jared Jones will face Kai-Wei Tang, and we will talk about it on Crush City Territory when we have another episode tomorrow morning. But until then, you can follow me on X at Chandler_Room. You can follow Tyler at Tyler C. Stafford. Please rate and review us on Apple and Spotify. Please like the YouTube video and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get notified anytime we post a new podcast. Like I said, we will be back tomorrow to wrap up the Pirates series. We may ask for some mailbag questions to see what you guys want to talk about. The deadline's coming up. Some guys are coming back. There's going to be roster decisions to be made. So may put out a call for a couple questions from listeners tonight. So if you guys want, hit us up. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Until then, we will talk to you soon. Thanks for listening.
And Josh Hader's gonna save it all. Save it all. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Bye.